Hey riders and racers, and welcome back for another live stream. A little bit later in the schedule for today's video. Has been a busy day, but what I'm going to be chatting about in today's video is how to lose body fat and also get fit at the same time. It's just a couple of questions, just for the few riders I've been working with um, that have lost a reasonable amount of weight now. They've been working with me for a few months. Have mentioned, hey Jason, have mentioned how much energy they have and how their training is improving, even though they've lost so much weight at the same time. Um, and that just made them think that that's one of the things that they have struggled with previously is they might have been able to lose the weight, but it was hard for them to maintain their training and maintain their fitness and maintain their energy while trying to do both at the same time. So that's really the problem that I want to help solve for you guys today. Um, so I just got a few notes here that I'm looking at. So the short answer is yes, you can achieve both. Okay, you can get fitter and stronger and improve your cardio and conditioning and lose weight at the same time. It's not You're not having to pick one or the other. Both can be done together. Especially when you're first starting off, or if you haven't been training for a little bit, you're going to see great progress in both sides, both areas. So there's three things to focus on when you're focusing on losing weight. Okay, and when I say losing weight, I don't mean just weight on the scale. What I mean is actually dropping body fat. Okay, so getting leaner. So in other words, keeping the good stuff, keeping muscle, keeping your fitness, or improving your fitness, and just dropping body fat, which is I think what most of us mean anyway. When we say we want to drop weight, we don't want to feel like shit and drop weight. We want to feel good and have more energy and have more fitness. Really, what we want is we want to drop the body fat. That's what we're concerned with. So three things to look at is first thing that needs to happen is you need to be in a calorie deficit. So what a calorie deficit is. So our body uses a certain amount of calories every day just to operate, okay, to do what we do. For me to sit down on the computer for most of the day. For some of you, it might be you're out working on site, on a mine site. For some of you in machinery, some of you bricklayers. Okay, your body uses a certain amount of calories just to keep you operating on a day-to-day basis. And so we take in calories through food. Okay, so on one side we're burning calories through what we do on a day-to-day basis, and on the other side we're taking in calories through the food that we eat. And so what happens is if we are taking in the same amount of calories that we're burning every day through doing what we're doing, our weight will stay the same. Okay, so if I'm 90 kilos at the start of the week and I consume the same amount of calories that I'm burning through work and through training, I'll stay at 90 kilos at the end of the week. Okay, my weight will be the same. So the way that you get your weight to shift and to drop down, if that's what your goal is we need to have a deficit there. And so what that means is you need to be taking in less calories than what you're burning off every day. Okay, so if you were taking in 2,000 calories a day throughout the week and that was keeping you at 90 kilos, then if you wanted to drop weight, hey Andrew, you can't keep having 2,000 calories a day. You'll need to drop that down and maybe go to 1,800 calories a day. Okay, and then what that will do is that will give you a 200 calorie deficit every day over 7 days. You do that for 7 days in a row, you've got a 1,400 calorie deficit. So what happens is your body no longer has enough energy available to do what it needs to do just by the food that you're putting in because you've restricted it a little bit. Because you've restricted it a little bit, has to use alternate forms of energy. Hey James, so that's when your body starts to break down body fat. It's using a combination of breaking down body fat and using that as energy, and also using the food that you're consuming. If you're eating too much food, you go the opposite way. Your body's got too many calories coming in, and it will store those extra calories then as body fat because it's going, hey, we've got more than enough energy. There's too much here, and that's when your weight will start to go up. So the first thing that needs to happen is you need to get in a calorie deficit. So the way that you get yourself into a deficit is, first of all, you need to know how many calories you're consuming. Okay, so if you do the same work, like typical work every week, and similar type training every week, then your body is burning roughly the same amount of calories every week. Hey Dale, so what we need to do to get into a deficit is you need to have a look at how many calories are you consuming. So the best way for you to do this is, first of all, use an app like MyFitnessPal. That's what I use with my riders to get them to track their food. And it's just a food tracking app. It's an app you can download. It's free. Create an account, and it will let you put all your food in there. When you first start doing this, it's quite hard. tracking your food, because you're not going to know how much things weigh. You're not going to know how many calories are in certain foods. But this is the great thing about tracking your food, is you're educating yourself on what calories are in what foods. So what you'll find is that there's some foods that you eat on a day-to-day basis that are very high in calories that you probably didn't even know. Hey, Rebecca, and they likely don't fill you up too much. Okay, so as an easy start to get yourself into a deficit, you don't need to change everything and eat completely different meals. What you need to do is just cut back on or eliminate those high calorie meals that you're having. So, like one of the writers I was chatting to the other day, who just started working with, he was tracking his food for me, and we needed to get him into a deficit, and he was having trouble dropping weight. And all his meals were actually quite good, but then when we got to dinner time was massive amount of calories. So there was more calories in dinner, just the dinner meal, than there was in all the other like breakfast, lunch, and snacks combined. So what we need to look at is dinner and go, okay, do we need to eat less and restrict portions, or do we need to have change some foods around? Are there some foods in there or ingredients that you're having in your dinner that maybe don't need to be in there, or that we can cut back on, that's going to help you to get to your goal without, revamping your whole day? So just look for small things to change. Once you've tracked your food, do it for a week, for 7 days. That'll tell you how much you're consuming, and then weigh yourself again at the end of 7 days. Excuse me. I'm dying. Then when you get to the end of the 7 days, if you're still at the same body weight, that means that's your maintenance calories. Okay, so if you track all your food for 7 days, you were 90 kilos at the start, and you track yourself again at the end of 7 days. Excuse me, just gonna have a bit of my protein shake here. I just had dinner before I had this call. Something still hasn't gone down. So track your calories for 7 days. Okay, if you're 90 kilos at the start, you're 90 kilos at the end, and you track your calories. Hey, Reese, and you've got 2,000 calories every day that you're consuming that you've tracked through the app. Then you know that 2,000 calories is your maintenance calories. So to get you into a deficit, start off with a 200 calorie deficit. Drop down to 1,800 every day for the next 7 days, keeping all your activity the same, your gym work the same. And then that will help you to start losing weight and start dropping some body fat. So that's the first thing that has to happen, calorie deficit. Second thing that I encourage is weight training. And the reason I encourage weight training when you're trying to lose weight and build fitness at the same time is because when you're losing weight, your body will not just break down body fat. Okay, it will also break down muscle as well. So it's breaking down anything that it can to make up for that deficit. Okay, because we're restricting the amount of calories going in through food. Your body can't just operate in the calories coming in through food, so it's breaking down muscle and also breaking down body fat to help keep your body operating. Now, weight training will help to promote keeping the muscle, okay, because it's actually being used. So things that you can do to help with your weight training can be things like back squatting, can be things like overhead pressing, deadlifting, bent over rows, bench pressing. Any of these movements are great to start with, just as long as you're doing some form of weight training 2 or 3 times a week, and you're consistent with that. And when I say weight training, strength training, okay, focusing on getting stronger. The other reason strength training is great as well is when you get stronger, your body burns more calories. Okay, so if you think about your body, so let's say, I don't know, let's say I can deadlift 50 kilos now, right? My body burns a certain amount of calories. If I can get my deadlift up to 100 kilos, my body has to burn more calories because it's taking more energy to operate at that high level. So think about it like a motorbike example, right? Let's say you've got an 85cc and you've got a 500. Which one uses more fuel? Hey, Stuart, obviously a 500. Okay, now the reason the 500 uses more fuel is because it's bigger. It's a bigger motor. It's got a lot more power, a lot more torque, a lot more speed, a lot more acceleration. It's got a lot more everything compared to an 85. And that's why it uses a lot more fuel, because it's performing at a high level. Our bodies are exactly the same. When we get fitter and we get stronger, our body burns more calories. It burns more fuel because it's operating at a higher level now. So that's what your strength training helps you to do. So instead of just restricting the amount of calories coming in through food, when we're doing strength work, we're also working on the other side of the equation where we can get our body burning more calories on a day-to-day basis. And so strength training, that's a little bit more of a longer term play. It's not something you're going to see progress within a couple of weeks. You need to keep up the strength work. okay? And longer term, it will help you. So that's the weight training. The third thing is interval work. So interval work is short, sharp bursts of high intensity activity. So, for example, like if you're on the treadmill, it would be like a minute on, flat out, a minute off rest, a minute on, flat out, a minute off rest. And you could do that for 5 rounds, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds, right? 20 minutes. The reason interval work is great is there's actually two reasons that it's really good and that I like it. Number one is it doesn't interfere with strength work. So you can get stronger and build your cardio and conditioning at the same time when you use intervals. If you do a lot of long distance cardio stuff, like, you go for an hour run or you go for an hour cycle, do a lot of long, or, go swimming for half an hour, the long, slow distance stuff will work against the strength work. Okay, they headbutt against each other. So the interval work, hey, Danny, doesn't. It works with the strength work, okay, which is what we want. So you don't want to be pairing a heap of long distance stuff and strength work together, because they're working against each other. You're working against yourself. You're doing a lot of work that's not helping you to move forward. So that's why interval work is great. The other reason that interval work's good and that I like it is because it creates what is called an oxygen debt. So what this means is your metabolism will be cranked up for the next 24 to 48 hours after every interval session that you do. So what this means is, like, if you were to train tonight, so today's Monday night, let's say you were to do an interval workout tonight and you didn't train tomorrow at all and you didn't train on Wednesday, what would happen is your metabolism will be cranked up and your body will be burning more calories during the day than what it normally would, all the way until Tuesday night to Wednesday night. Okay, so you could get from Monday to Wednesday, get your metabolism cranked up just by doing intervals on one night. Now, if you use a lot of long distance work, it also burns calories, but it burns majority of its calories while you're doing the actual exercise. So, and not too many calories after. So it kind of, if you're doing a lot of long distance stuff, it kind of hurts you in two ways. Is number one, it's going to work against your strength work. So the strength work's helping to crank the metabolism up, and the longer distance stuff is helping to reduce your strength. Okay, so they're working against each other. And then the other thing that happens is it's only burning calories while you're doing it. So the only real way to burn a whole heap of calories with the longer distance stuff is to do more work. If you're doing an hour of cycling, do 2 hours. Like, that's how it works. Whereas with the interval stuff, we can work on increasing the intensity or doing more intervals. And also, you can get because they're so intense intervals, you get them done in a shorter period of time. You can have a very, very effective workout from anywhere to 10 to 20 minute mark with intervals. Whereas with the longer distance cardio, that's not going to cut it. You need to be like half hour to an hour long. So that's why I recommend interval work as well for losing weight and getting fit. If you apply those three things, it's going to get you majority of the way there. Okay, they're really the big things. Is make sure you're in a calorie deficit, make sure that you're weight training, okay, and building strength, and make sure you're using interval work. And if you're using all those three, that's really a fail-proof system. Okay, to making sure that you're building fitness and reducing your body fat at the same time. Okay, doing those two things together. Common mistakes that I see that I could come up with. First one is people that are trying to lose weight have too big of a deficit. I see this a lot with weight loss programs, like like Jenny Craig or like Jenny Craig type systems, or I think like the Michelle Bridges stuff, or like the Man Shake and things like that. Do they get you to lose weight? Yeah, you bet they do. But what I've found with them is that they are very calorie restrictive. And so when your deficit is too big, so what I work with is roughly 200 calorie deficit, okay, a week until we're dropping body fat. And just work with 200, which is reasonable, okay, reasonable, but not too big either. Hey, Ben. So if you have too big of a deficit, okay, let's say you're averaging like 2,000 calories a day, and then you drop that back and go, oh, I want to lose weight really quick, I'm just going to drop it back to 1,000. The thing that's going to happen is, number one, you're going to be fucking starving. You're going to be absolutely hungry all the time. But you're also going to have very low energy because your body's going, shit, like we've got half the amount of energy. Your body's going into shock. right? It doesn't know what's going on. And the other thing that's going to happen is you're going to lose a lot of muscle mass, okay, because you've restricted your calories so much in such a short period of time. And so, although that you may lose a little bit of weight doing that, it's just going to be very hard to stick to. Sweet. Good night, Ben. Well, not good night for you. Good night for the little one. My little one will be home soon, so probably bedtime for her if she's not asleep already. She's only one though. Hey, Tim. So, if you have too big of a deficit, then you're going to find that you're just going to have low energy and you're just going to feel shit. And you have to remember when you're losing weight, one of the things that I hear a lot is people are like, "Oh, I'll just do this for a few months, and then I'll lose the weight, and then I'll be happy, and then then I'll just go back to what I was doing before." Um, but the thing is that doesn't work, and the reason that that doesn't work is because what you were doing before is what got you to having excess body fat in the first place. So the system you use to lose the weight is the system you need to keep the weight off as well. So if you do keto and you really hate keto, but you know that it gets you results and you lose weight, it's probably not an effective strategy for you, because if you really, really don't like doing keto, but you just do it at the start to try and lose a whole heap of weight quickly and you know it works, you're not going to keep the weight off because you're going to go back to the habits that you had before. So it's really important that you know how to lose weight, but that's it. In the long term, that's really the easy part, isn't it? The hard bit, because losing weight is a 6 week, 8 week, 12 week, 6 month job, depending on how much weight you've got to lose. After that is when the real work starts, because that's when you've got to maintain that. And the way that you maintain that, your result, is you need to keep doing the things that got you to the result in the first place. So if you're doing the man shake and you lost a whole heap of weight, well, what happens at the end of the man shake when you've lost all that weight? What do you do then? And that's where you get stuck. Then you go back to eating proper food, and then the weight goes on because your calories go back up, and then you're back to where you started before, and then you need to get on the man shake again. So the only way to keep your weight off using the man shake is use the man shake for the rest of your life. And if you're not having shakes for the rest of your life, then you probably need to find something that's a bit more sustainable. So that's the first thing anyways, too big of a deficit straight off the bat. So again, I just start off with 200 calories. Okay, track your calories for your week, start off with a 200 calorie deficit, and then go from there. If you do a 200 calorie deficit for a week and you still haven't dropped any weight and you've done all the same type of exercise and training and work and all that sort of stuff, and you track your calories accurately, then drop another 200, okay, and go from there. Second one is not enough protein. So I find a lot as well with different weight loss programs is they don't incorporate enough protein. So if you are in a calorie deficit, again, like I said before, you want to make sure you're maintaining your muscle mass, because your muscle mass is going to help with your fitness and your strength, but also help you to keep burning calories while you're not at the gym or while you're not training as well. And it's going to make you look good. Okay, if you just lose a whole heap of weight and you've lost a whole heap of muscle mass, you're going to look exactly the same as you looked before, except 20 kilos smaller. It's just going to be a shrunk version of what you looked like. You're not going to look any fitter or look any better than you did before. So the second one is not enough protein. So if you're on a calorie restricted diet, you need to make sure that you're still prioritizing protein, okay, and how much protein you're getting in. So what I recommend or what I use is roughly 1.8 grams of protein per kilo of body weight. So if you're 100 kilos, roughly 180 grams of protein a day. So if you prioritize that and then fill the rest with carbs and fats, then you're going to find it quite easy to maintain muscle and maintain strength. The thing is, the problem I see though is when people try and drop calories is they drop the amount of protein they're eating as well. And they drop the amount of protein they're eating, which means they lose muscle faster, which means they're not looking as good. Their physique doesn't look as good, but they're also not as fit and not as strong. And that's where we start to get one or the other. That's where you might go, oh, on the scales, like my weight's dropping down, which is great, but then your performance in the gym with training is going down. You're not feeling as good on the bike. You don't feel as energetic when you go to work. And you want both, don't you? Really, at the end of the day, it's what we want. We don't want to just lose weight and feel like shit, and you don't want to be really fit and be holding excess body fat. You want both. Okay, we want to have the best of both worlds. So make sure you get enough protein in. Heaps of different ways to get protein in. So for me, reminds me, I need to get my shake in, so I'll have a drink now. But you can use protein shakes. So that one there that I've just got now is bulk nutrients. That's a casein protein. So that's one before I have at night time, but generally before I go to bed. It's only 7 o'clock over here in Perth. So you can use a casein protein. They're about 20, I think that's about 23 grams of protein in it. The other one I use straight after training is a whey protein, which is also from Bulk Nutrients, which is about 23, 25 grams of protein as well. Um, but otherwise, get protein through meat. Okay, that's really the main protein source, or big source of protein. It's going to give you heaps of protein in a small amount of food. So chicken breast is about 30 grams of protein per 100 grams of. So like if you look at a chicken breast, a decent sized chicken breast will be roughly 50 grams of protein. So think about half a chicken breast, maybe about 25 grams of protein. Um, Otherwise, you can have things like steak, you can have turkey, you can have bacon. I do a mixture. I eat a fair bit of chicken just because it's quite lean, and it's also cheap as well. If you start eating, Scotch fillets every night and you're trying to hit your 180 grams of protein, you'll be spending a small fortune on steaks, but that's what you want. That's what you can get. You can do it that way as well. But I eat a lot of chicken breast, chicken nibbles, which are like the little tiny drumsticks, chicken wings as well. I've been doing lately. And I don't do anything fancy with them. I've got a Weber at home, barbecue with the lid that you can put on. So I get that cranked up, put that on medium heat. And so like the chicken wings I'll get the chicken wings, I'll coat them in a tiniest bit of olive oil. Olive oil is extremely high in calories. So I've got this little kitchen brush that I just dip in olive oil and very lightly coat them in olive oil, bit of salt and pepper on top. And then I've got some different seasonings that I have. So like I have this, I think it's called sweet and sticky seasoning or rub that I just sprinkle on top. And then I put it on the Weber. So put the Weber on medium heat. And I'll do the wings roughly, I think the wings I do 15 minutes each side. So I do 15 minutes, go turn them over, and then another 15 minutes and they're ready to go. And I'll cook up a whole heap of meat at once. I'm not a big fan of food prepping at all. I'm a fan of food prepping in terms of it works, but I'm not a fan in terms of I'm not going to spend my whole Sunday trying to be master chef in the kitchen, putting together a whole heap of variety of meals. So I'll eat the same shit most days. I brought yesterday when I went shopping, I brought be about 4 kilos of chicken nibbles. These 3 big packets of over a kilo of these little chicken wing things. And I'll be eating them. I had them for lunch today, and I had them for dinner as well. And the other thing that's high in protein as well is eggs. So if I go through what I've eaten today, I've had 2 pieces of gluten-free bread. I just eat gluten-free bread because the gluten triggers my eczema and get really itchy skin. So if you're fine with normal bread, you can use normal bread. I've had I've had 3 eggs today. Okay, so this morning I had an iced latte this morning. So I'll go through my whole day for you. Maybe that helps. I had an iced latte this morning, which is just milk and coffee. Okay, no sugar, no syrups or anything else. Roughly 400 mils of whole milk. There's about 20 grams of protein in that. So I had that. Then I had 1 piece of gluten-free bread with 1 egg for my morning tea. Then for lunchtime, I had the chicken nibbles. I had 6 of those chicken nibbles. They're about 5 grams of protein each. I had a protein shake, Casein Protein shake, which is about 23 grams of protein. And that was lunch. Then in the afternoon, I had another Casein Protein shake, which was at about 3 o'clock. So again, another 23 grams of protein. Actually, I don't know if I had 2 casein. Maybe it was only the 1 shake I had today. I'm trying to think of what else I had. Oh, sorry, it was. Yeah, I didn't have a protein shake at lunch. I had the Casein Protein shake at about 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. 4 o'clock I went and trained. So I train at home. I train with the coach on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I train at home Mondays and Fridays. So today I trained at home at 4 o'clock for an hour and a half. Straight after my workout, I had a whey protein shake, not casein. Then after that, I had dinner, and then I had more chicken nibbles. I had how many did I have? I had 50 grams of protein. So I think I had 10 of these chicken nibbles, which I'd already cooked up at lunchtime, so I didn't have to just warm them up. I had 1 more piece of gluten-free bread, 1 piece of gluten-free bread. I had two pieces of gluten-free bread today, not 3. And then I had 2 eggs on that gluten-free bread. And that was it. And then this Casein Protein shake that I've got here, which will be it for today. So that's about 180, 190 grams. of protein for today. And so that's what I ate. And so I eat the same stuff most days. Eggs and gluten-free bread every week. Every week I buy loads of gluten-free bread and loads of eggs. And every week I buy chicken. I eat the same stuff. When I eat the same stuff, I find it easy to follow. I don't have to think about it. I don't get decision fatigue trying to think, oh, what am I going to have for lunch today? When I don't have food and I don't do my shopping, that's what really fucks me up for the week, and gets me off track, because then I'm like, oh, what am I going to have today? Am I going to have this? And that's when I end up eating stuff I know I shouldn't be eating, but I do it just because it's convenient. So I try and make good stuff as easy as possible. Anyway, I was banging on about that one for a little bit. Hey, Wayne. The third common mistake I see is too much long distance cardio. Okay, so if you're doing, hey Tekken, if you're doing a whole heap of long distance cardio, you're reducing muscle mass, okay, and you're also only burning calories while you're doing the exercise. And that's the reason I don't like it. If that's your only strategy, if you're doing no strength work and no interval work and you're just trying to do a whole heap of cardio to burn calories, will you lose weight? Yeah, of course you will, because you're burning, as long as you're in a calorie deficit, yeah, you will burn calories. But you're not going to build your fitness at the same time. You're not going to build your strength at the same time. You're doing it at the detriment to your fitness and to your strength. So nothing wrong with doing long distance cardio if you enjoy doing it, but just use it intelligently. Okay, go for 1 or 2 longer rides a week. Don't just do no strength work, no interval work, and a whole heap of long distance cardio work, because that's when you're going to get into trouble. Well, not get into trouble, but you're just gonna shrink yourself. Okay, if you're 100 kilos and you drop down to 80 kilos, you're gonna look the same as you did at 100 kilos, just a lot smaller. Okay, and at the end of the day, when you say you want to lose weight, I know we all say we want to lose weight, but at the end of the day, you probably want to look a bit better as well. Okay, and feel a bit better. That's probably what you're really after, more so than just the number on the scale. So that's really it. If any of you guys are interested in this stuff, I'll put up a form for you guys if you're interested. If you want to lose some body fat and build your fitness at the same time, I'm giving away hey Dave, for the riders that jump or join my Fast Laps program, I'm giving away my race ready nutrition system for free, which covers all your meal plans, all your meals, meal ideas, ingredients lists, the absolute work. So if any of you are interested in that, I'll put the application form below in the comments. You can fill it out. I'll ask you a few quick questions. Is there any questions though, guys? Anything I can help you guys with while I've got you on? I know there's a few of you guys on here, and it's a little bit later at night, so you've probably got a bit more time to sit down and watch videos like this rather than during the day, which is when I normally do my videos. But is there any questions when it comes to losing weight or building fitness? Losing weight, building fitness, building strength, trying to do both at the same time, or anything I've gone through today, anything about a calorie deficit, anything about weight training, anything about interval work, anything that I can help you guys with there at all. Any questions? I'll just check my my computer here. Sometimes the questions come through on my phone and sometimes they don't. Anything at all, guys? Any questions? Do not be shy. I enjoy answering questions. If there's any way that I can help. So yeah, anything to do with calorie deficit, weight training, interval work, losing weight, maybe having trouble losing weight, you've tried a few different things, maybe you've tried some of these things and you're still having trouble losing weight, you're not sure what to do. Anything at all. So the difference between casein, the reason I mentioned casein and whey protein, whey protein is rapidly digested by the body. Okay, the body loves it. So when we finish training, that's when our body's in demand of nutrients. Okay, that's when it wants nutrients because we've just broken our body down for an hour when we've gone training or we've gone riding, and it needs nutrients to help it recover. So that's why we want a rapidly digested protein, which is whey protein, WHEY. Casein protein is the opposite. It's a slow digesting protein. Take up to 12 hours to digest casein protein. So casein protein is great for having at nighttime if you're going to sleep, because obviously you're not eating during the night. But it's also good as a meal replacement or a snack as well. because it will keep you satisfied for a longer period of time. If you have whey protein, because it's digested so quickly, it's not going to fill you up too much. Whereas if you use casein protein, it will keep you fuller for a longer period of time. So I'll tend to use these as a snack. So I had one casein protein shake today, which was with my egg. I'm pretty sure I had it with my egg. I had an egg, a piece of gluten-free bread, and my shake. And then that keeps me satisfied till lunch, and then I have lunch, and then I have my afternoon shake. The other thing I like about the shakes as well is they're just easy to make. It's just no prep, isn't it? And also reasonably low calorie. So it's only for a casein protein shake mixed with water, it's about 100 calories. And same for whey protein, about 100 calories. If you've got a protein that's mixed with carbs and a whole heap of other stuff, it's probably not going to be 100 calories. So if you're trying to lose weight, I wouldn't go with one that's mixed with carbs. I would go with one that's just pure protein, which is what I've got there. Okay, well, it doesn't look like there's any questions, but hopefully you guys enjoyed today's nighttime live stream. It's a little bit different. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. Just allows Facebook to share it around with some other riders and racers, and hopefully they can find it useful as well. But otherwise, thank you for jumping on, guys. I appreciate all the help and support that you give me for these videos, and plenty more to come. We'll chat to you guys soon. See ya.